Kamala Harris, I'll help low-income Iowans afford their rent. Okay. And this is a column written by Kamala Harris herself. Over the last few weeks in Iowa, an important conversation came up that echoes conversations I've heard across the country. Cost of living is rising, with skyrocketing rents. Too many families are struggling. Okay. In 99% of counties in America, a minimum wage worker working 40 hours a week can't afford a one-bedroom apartment. Okay, and this is going on in Iowa too. Nationally, 21 Americans pay 30% or more of their income on rent and utilities, and in Iowa, there are 90,000 extreme low-income renter households facing this reality. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Okay, so here's what she's going to do about it. I came up with a plan, this is Kamala Harris saying this, to put money in their pockets. Okay, what are you going to do, Kamala? It's called the Rent Relief Act. Under my plan, renters who pay more than 30% of their income on housing and utilities would be eligible for a refundable tax credit that they could access monthly to help cover their costs. This would ensure that families aren't priced out of the basic security of a place to live, and it would bolster the economic security of working families, strengthen our country, and increase opportunity. I believe access to housing is a fundamental right, a human right, a civil right, and as president, I'm going to make sure it's a priority. Having a safe place to live and raise your family is about more than shelter. It's about dignity, but for far too many, it's out of reach. Black and Hispanic households are twice as likely as white households to rent their homes, so the rapidly rising cost of housing is hitting them even harder. Okay, so again, this seems like another incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. Kamala, wouldn't a better route being supporting living wages? You just mentioned how people are working 40 hours a week and still can't afford to live. That's the problem right there. You just nailed the problem right there. Instead of some type of tax credit, we should focus on that problem right there. Okay, people are working 40 hours a week in the richest country in the world, and they can't afford to live. Something's going on. We need to do something about living wages. Minimum wage has not kept up with inflation at all. $15 an hour is even less than what we need. That's less than what we need. And if wages kept up with inflation, the minimum wage would be like $22 an hour right now. It hasn't. So we're just fighting for 15. Just to get there. That's how bad it's gotten. Because of horrible trade deals, because of stuff like NAFTA, because of lack of protections for workers, because of the destruction of unions. That's why we've gotten to this point. We used to have a strong middle class in this country because we had strong unions. We had workers' rights. We focused domestically. That all changed. Reaganomics on steroids has changed all that over the years. And it even started before Reagan, but that heavily exacerbated it. So that's the problem right there. Why not focus on living wages? Why not focus on a jobs guarantee? On an infrastructure plan? On green new energy? On a real jobs bill to put people to work at living wages? Nobody working 40 hours a week shouldn't be able to afford their rent. So instead of focusing on those priorities, well, the donors might not like that as much because they're benefiting off of not paying people living wages. They're benefiting from that. So someone like Kamala Harris, who wants to make people think she's actually doing something for them, but she doesn't want to disrupt the donors, she'll propose something like this, giving you a nice little math problem to figure out whether or not you qualify for some tax credit. And then you just get this tax credit that they're probably going to take something away from other social services to pay for. They're probably going to say, oh, well, to pay for this, we gotta take, Social Security's got to take a cut, or Medicare's got to take a cut, or some other social service has got to take a cut. We'll take it out of food stamps, something like that. They're not going to take this out of the war budget, is what I'm saying, and we all know that to be true. So this is just another incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. And it's just more centrist do-nothing policies, polluting and diluting what's actually going on. What's really going on here is people are working 40 hours a week, can't afford to live. That's the problem right there. So what do we do about that? Living wages, jobs program. Boom. That's what we do. It's really not that complicated. When you have wealth disparity, a remnant of ancient Egypt, it is not that complicated. The people at the top are getting away with far too much, And it needs to end. We could have living wages in this country, and guess what? The rich people would still be rich. There'd still be rich people. And there'd still be lower income people, but hell, everybody would have a chance at a decent life. If you work 40 hours a week in the richest country in the world, you should have a decent life. You should be able to afford a family and a roof over your head. Period. No matter what it is, by the way. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're working 40 hours a week at an honest job, you should make a living wage. Period. That's the end of it. That's it. There is no more discussion. That's it. So this is just another example of a conservative in denial, missing the mark. Just like Beto O'Rourke, when we talked about Beto yesterday. Hey, what's the solution for food deserts? Farm-to-table restaurants. That's the solution. For people that don't have access to the food that they need, the solution for them is to eat out more often. Go to restaurants more often. That's Beto O'Rourke's solution, because he can't fathom the idea, because he's married to a billionaire, he can't fathom the idea that to some people, eating out is a luxury. To most people, eating out is a treat. That's a treat. He doesn't get that. To him, it's just, well, you're just eating to survive. And whether you do something at home or you eat out, it doesn't. That's just what you do. No, some people, they're eating out, they can't afford to do that all the time. So some people, they're working 2 and 3 jobs. And this tax credit, yeah, that's something, but that doesn't take away the fact that they're working 2 and 3 jobs to live. And Kamala, you were laughing about the idea of throwing them in jail if their kids are late for school. You were laughing about that, Kamala. You thought it was funny that parents working 2 and 3 jobs, but you don't really want to do anything about that part. You want to throw them in jail if their kids are late for school. You thought that was hilarious, Kamala Harris. So, another swing and a miss. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your